vigilantes. The meme is created. We are habituated and conditioned to the fact that speech does not have to be allowed if it is offendable, or offensive, I should say, to at least one person in a group.
No, that's right. That's the whole hate crime model, where guys that drag a black guy to death in Texas get the death penalty. But that's not enough. We need to pass a hate crime law so they can then apply it to speech. If anyone is hurt by it, now you can't have it. Well, my gosh, I mean, you can find anybody to be offended by anything. That's the end of the First Amendment.
And also, you know, Alex, you understand this, but hate, the word hate, is protected speech. You can hate crime, and you can hate terrorism, and hate sin, and you can hate, and that's okay. You can hate certain Islamists all day long. But that is a protected speech. Now, when you take something which is a law, which is already cognizable at law, assault and or battery, that already exists, and you pair it with something that is an already protected speech, and you combine the two, and you penalize somebody and aggravate a sentence because they dared to utter an otherwise constitutionally protected speech, then you have the hate crime. And what's also interesting is, I love this, Alex, I used to hate people who said the professional left, the professional right, left and right, but I say it now almost out of a sense of you know, shortcuts. But the people who rail against Israel for what, and I'm not going to get into an Israeli Gaza Hamas argument. And by the way, they never mention Hamas. It's always Israel, and that's it. But those individuals who dare to mention this overreaction will think nothing if their beloved president wipes out a marriage party in Yemen with a drone missile, with a Hellfire missile. That's somehow different. And what what amazes me...
No, there you go. That's what I'm sick of, is the whole debate is a fraud. None of it's even real. You got ISIS killing 300,000 people under their last name in Syria, and our government funding them, and then no one wants to talk about them killing Christians, non-radical Muslims, literally chopping babies' heads off. They just want to go, oh, you work for Israel because you don't want to blow Israel up. And I'm just going, wait a minute. I'm simply saying at least there's some fight going on with Israel and Hamas. And, you know, it's tribal and both sides. It's never going to end. Boy, it's a tragedy. I want peace over there. No, I'm not allowed to have a reasonable position. I'm supposed to just say murder all the Jews, or I'm a bad guy. While meanwhile, no one cares about Christians being murdered.
Right. You know, you mentioned something in your the guest you had on prior to me about the church and the First Amendment. You know, we get the Bill of Rights, Alex, whether you like them or not. We get the first and we get the second. The second is just as good as the rest of them. And America is under attack yet again. Remember this. Not that you remember this, but by the thought vigilantes. You see, I am not a spiritual person per se. I'm rather irreligious. I also don't speak French. So what? What I'm seeing right now is this systematic mocking. Bill Maher does it, and a variety of others. Remember, every faith looks silly if you don't understand it. Every language sounds funny if you
They're attacking Christianity because they want the state to be God. They want to get rid of the old God. So even if you don't believe in the God of the Christians, the point is you better look at why they're trying to tear it down, because they got a brand new God. And let me tell you, I don't want to get on my knees to this one.
Well, you know, I was raised from kindergarten through high school in Catholic school. And I have nothing but respect for the nuns and the priests that I had. I was never touched or spanked or hit or anything. But yet it's open season. And you have a bunch of people, too, who are the professional atheists. You know, somebody once said, if atheism is a religion, then not collecting stamps is a hobby. And what they do every year is around in New York, right outside the Holland Tunnel, atheists will, again, citizens, not the government, the thought vigilantes, will mock Christmas, mock the notion of Jesus. So I have said on television and many times throughout my career, why don't you show the same type of contempt for other religions? who happen to believe in a God.
Oh, yeah, we never hear anything from the professional atheist when devil worshippers do something or when radical Muslims do something.
Or Ramadan, they don't ever put any good dare. They would never do that or make fun of
exactly. Under political correctness, it's only okay to attack Christians and then with the professional left to attack Israel. And Israel's got its share of problems, and I've got a lot of problems with what Israel does, but it's just so vitriolic and dumbed down is the issue, is that, like, these pseudo-intellectuals don't know anything. They just go, I can know how to read the New York Times, and I hate Israel. And so, therefore, I'm real smart.
There is a kit that you get. It's a playbook that you get to be a part of this. It's your quiver. This is what you know. This is your ammunition. And you must swear fealty to the following. You know, Alex, I am and have been forever an absolute advocate of the Second Amendment. I was raised in Florida. We had carry permits before anybody had them.
I want to hear about this. I want to hear about this. Yeah, people say Alex Jones has his right-wing script of guns and private property and family. Yeah, because I like it.
A chemical spill contaminating the water supply in 9 West Virginia counties.
This year alone, over 300,000 people in West Virginia had their drinking water contaminated.
What are the health effects of having these drugs in our drinking water?
It's forced medical treatment without the consent of residents.
My friends, water filtration is one of the most basic actions you can take to protect you and your family from the harmful toxins and heavy metals in your tap water.
On average, the county says it sprays with glyphosate at least once a week.
Few filters cut out the glyphosate that is found in water supplies worldwide. Remove pesticides, herbicides, chloramines, hydrofluorosilicic acid, sodium hexafluorosilicate.
Fluoride, it is in tea, it's in coffee, it's in water, it's in bread, it's in toothpaste.
It is our responsibility to protect our families. The establishment's not going to do it. It's time to take action. It's time to filter our water. Visit InfoWarsStore.com and use promo code WATER to get 10% off their entire family of incredible products. Or call toll-free 888-253-3139.
When an emergency happens, you'll be left to fend for yourself and your family. An outbreak of contagious disease can happen anywhere, and the threat of bioterrorism is always at hand. Because we're faced with more diseases than ever before, we need a better solution than ever before. Fortunately, there's a simple, effective way to protect yourself. Supernatural Silver offers a safe and effective means of fighting pathogens and can help defeat the root of these problems. Supernatural Silver is effective against more than 500 different disease-causing pathogens without encouraging drug resistance and without side effects. Supernatural Silver is the #1 choice of thousands of people for immune system support. Go to supernaturalsilver.com and give you and your loved ones a fighting chance. That's supernaturalsilver.com. Use the promo code October 2013 for 20% off your entire order and like us on Facebook.
Next to water and food, you need a safe, storable fuel supply for your preparedness needs. Spare Fuel is the answer. Spare Fuel can be used in any gas-powered vehicle or generator. Spare Fuel is perfect for any unforeseen out-of-gas emergencies. Unlike gasoline, Spare Fuel is safe to store with your other supplies, and it can be stored for many years. Call 877-800-9986. That's 877-800-9986.
Are you happy doing your laundry with perfume detergents that irritate your skin? Are you happy washing your hands with stinking fragrances that gives your skin rashes? Are you happy paying new, higher prices for smaller boxes? Find your happiness today with our 1 to 4 year supply of pure soaps or our 1 to 2 month sampler with bar soap, shampoo, laundry, and dish soap at 5starsoap.com. You deserve the best. Happiness is 5starsoap.com.
Remember folks warning you, the conspiracy theorists, the NSA was tracking everything you did and using it to control the markets? All that's been leaked now and is public. Of course, I had it directly from NSA whistleblowers and others back in 1996, 97, 98. I was one of the only people talking about it at the time. And the more I talked about it, the more whistleblowers gave me intel. So you can go back to those shows where we explained hubs in all the major telecoms and exactly how it worked, the name of the projects. I even had James Bamford on, the big former producer of Nightline, who exposed it. I had him on in 98. I'm not bragging, but people used to make fun of me and said, that's the guy that says the government listens to our phone calls. Now they've been caught. It's illegal. Did they get in trouble? No. We're going to have a few minutes left with Lionel here in a moment. Then I'm going to do 30 minutes of overdrive to talk to Michael and Mike and Denise and Curtis and Ben and others. I will get to all of you. And I also want to talk about one of the biggest forms of manipulation by the globalists and give you the latest on what's happening in Iraq. Very briefly, and some political correctness I haven't gotten to, but first I'll get those calls out of the way. Before Lionel gets a final comment, I want to officially invite Lionel back at least once a month on the show. And I want to invite him, now that his Skype is so incredibly clear, to maybe co-host sometime for an hour or two with David Knight when he's sitting in and filling in, because he is such an interesting fellow, and I'd like to give him a chance to walk through some reports. Just please don't forget this hour is brought to you by MyPatriotSupply.com, MyPatriotSupply.com/Alex. Great customer service. They produce the food fresh every week, last 20 years. It's got a unique packaging system that allows you to carry it easier. Find out more at MyPatriotSupply.com/Alex. Or 866-229-0927. And don't forget, we're launching a back-to-school special this week that helps fund teleprompter-free news and radio and everything. I've never done a special like this at InfoWarsStore.com, or when you call our toll-free number, is 10% off with the promo code 10. Now, you could say 11, you could say 9, but we don't follow here on air Common Core, so it has to be 10. Like 2 + 2 = 4. The promo code is 10. 10. You'll get 10% off already, everything discounted, whether it's high-quality non-GMO seeds, whether it's my books and films, whether it's the InfoWars Life supplements like X2, Super Male Vitality, Super Female Vitality. That helps fund our operation, and all the other great folks that come on the show get magnified by our larger platform, and then hopefully they promote us right back for synergy. Finishing up with LionelMedia.com's host, Lionel. Lionel, we got about a minute and a half left. Closing comment.
Well, I was mentioning, I am a believer in the Constitution, the Bill of Rights. I really have no choice. I'm an American.
You're a terrorist.
And yes. In addition to that, those individuals, or those rights that were given to me by our forebears, the Second Amendment is one that I believe in. I am a native Floridian. I'm a second-generation cracker, which is, by the way, a term of art and not anything racially pejorative. And we had carry permits before anybody else. And I never shot anybody. I've never been hunting in my life. Not that there's anything wrong with that. And yet I'm called a right-wing lunatic because I prefer and have the unmitigated audacity in believing that I can implement any reasonable instrument of self-protection for me and my family. I am so deluded by the sense of autonomy provided for in the Constitution that somehow my gun is an extension of my hypomensurate maleness. And I'll leave it at that because it's a family
But then
show.
meanwhile, government can have bunkers and armored vehicles and prepare for war against us. A bunch of cowards have the crutch of calling you an extremist because you're a man who has an instinct to protect his family. Lionel, thank you so much. We'll be back with your phone calls, more news, a lot of breaking news at Infowars.com right now. And back on the Nightly News tonight, 7 o'clock. I'll be part of that, 7 o'clock Central. From the water table to our soils to the atmosphere itself, our world is becoming more and more toxic each and every day. But it's not just the air outside that's toxic. Indoor air has been shown to have 2 to 5 times higher concentrations of pollutants than even outdoor air. And most Americans spend 90% of their time inside using toxic chemicals within their homes. There are more than 42 million smokers in the United States. Well over 1,000 types of mold and mildew linked to numerous conditions. And don't forget the fact that 6 million Americans live with with pets they're allergic to as well. When I began to research these statistics, it was clear to me it was time to start cleansing my lungs in order to combat the toxic environment that we cannot escape, but that we can fight back against. Made with organic and wild cultivated herbs and manufactured in the USA, the new InfoWars Life Lung Cleanse is here in a convenient spray bottle that can be brought with you throughout any toxic environment. Now available exclusively at InfoWarsLife.com or by calling toll-free 888-253-3139.